have things. I don't know what, but there's stuff.
That was a Taco Bell burp. There was no substance to it.
When I was in Spokane, I got to see an elevated crunch wrap. A restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, made a crunch wrap.
They also made
a homemade Choco Taco.
I think we make crunch wraps at home. Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I'm Martelle, and with me always is Mike and Melissa at the Mac Shack. What's up, guys?
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
As I was saying, I do make crunch wraps at home on our Blackstone.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
It's real easy. Real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
I
need to
would
get
bet.
the tostados, like the big tostados things,
Yeah.
and you just put all your shit on it.
What was
fold
that
it over.
noise?
That's the...
That's usually the after taco noise.
Well, yeah, it's the putting the sour cream and guacamole on things. The squirt.
Yeah, I get it. I see it. Yeah. Thank you for continuing to make that noise. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be that kind of show.
Oh, it's going to be that kind of show. We haven't recorded in like 2 weeks.
I've been traveling for 2 weeks.
You have been, yes.
Yeah, and I was traveling last week.
You all have been the traveler, but not travelers whiskey, because that shit was gross, but traveling.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it's fun.
And then I leave again on Tuesday.
Where are you going?
Salt Lake City.
Ooh, I like Salt Lake City.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's Mormons there. They have a new thing they do.
Yeah.
So
No.
instead,
Just stop. Right? Whatever you're going to say, just...
they have magic underwear.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we drinking?
Come on, Melissa. This is great. I don't know. Mike.
Peanut butter old fashions.
Peanut butter old fashioned. So what is in this?
So this is chocolate bitters, and I added a little bit of black walnut bitters also.
Okay.
Peanut butter whiskey, and a half ounce of peanut butter whiskey, and an ounce and a half of bourbon. I used barrel proof Larceny for this.
Okay, so you used the weeded Larceny with sheepdog?
Yep.
Sheepdog. And
It smells good.
Well, I have to point out that the garnish is a mini Reese's cup, so that was a nice touch.
yeah, and the on metal picks,
Yes.
so I can pick my teeth out later. And this does smell absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that doesn't suck.
Oh no. Oh no.
That is good. It's a little sweet for me, but it's good.
I can give you some.
That is definitely a dessert drink.
Oh yeah. Then you can stab somebody with one of these fuckers.
Bonus.
Like a little bit of poison on there and give them a little
Well, and I just feel
Little
like
prick.
how many times at the bar have I wanted to stab?
a bartender.
No, I was not
Patron.
going in that direction. A patron.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I figured it'd be bartender because they
Shout
didn't fill
out
your
to
glass
Hal.
up.
no. Shout out to bartenders. I was one. I love y'all.
Some
No.
of them are good.
They
Others
they deal with a lot of shit. I'll tell you that.
Well, they do. So, have you been to Salt Lake before?
Yeah. Oh, so many times.
So many times.
Okay, just so you've been to the bars then.
Yeah.
And they use the perfect pour system.
Yes.
They have to.
They have
little
to.
1 ounce pour. It's
Yeah.
horse shit. How do the Mormons get to run the entire state over there?
There is a really cool bar there called Prohibitions. And when you walk in, it's like an old
It's a
pharmacy
speakeasy.
storefront. And you're like, oh, I'm feeling so distressed. And they're like, we have the perfect prescription for that. And then they open up a secret door and you go back and it's this whole bar. It's really fun. It's a cool place.
I wasn't there. Wherever we went when I was there, it's been probably 7 years ago, 8 years ago now.
Did they still have the privacy screens at the bars where they can't make a cocktail in front of people?
No, because I was there for Adobe for Adobe Summit. And so every bar that I went to, Adobe had rented out. So every party, Adobe had rented the entire bar. So they were just mixing stuff. But it came to a point where like all the alcohol was free. But they were still using the perfect pour system. So I'm like, I need blah, whatever it was. And they're like, I said, but I need 2 shots in every one. And they're like, we can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, then I need 30. And he's like, we can't give you 30 either. And I just pulled out a $100 bill. I'm like, 30 shots. And he's like, you have to be able to carry them all at once. That's the only way I'm going to get you 30 shots. I finger fucked every
Oh
one of
my
those glasses. It was just like, and I had them like pinned together.
I would have found a server tray, be like, done, let's do this. I will push a table over here.
I will get all of these out of here. But I did. I ended up like, I had like finger fucked all the glasses, and then I was pressing glasses together. And so like my hands were this far apart, and there were glasses like in between glasses, like in between my fingers, under the palms of my hands. I got over to the table. I was just like, boom. They were like, holy shit. I'm like, it took $100, but
But they're here.
I got them all.
Yeah.
So then everything that they got was all tips anyway, because the alcohol was free. So I'm just like, the guy got 100. And so when I went back up to order again, not a problem.
Yeah, not an issue.
It wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
I didn't give him another $100, but
No, Prohibitions is really cool. They ended up having a burlesque show and even like I feel like it was a version of like pole dancing. Like it was a cleaner, right? I mean, it was still it's not like New Orleans.
it's a sport.
It was, yeah. And they
You're
actually like
not wrong.
taught a little bit of like a mini class too. It was super fun. So Prohibition, Salt Lake City, highly recommend. Fun spot.
I would check that out.
They have the swing. Didn't
Yeah, it was the swing.
sex swing.
It was the swing. Sorry,
Sex
not
swing.
the pole, the swing. It was fun.
Was it in the red room?
It was not.
There's no sex in the champagne room.
No, except there is. That's the joke, people. So yeah, it's this past week's been busy. Mm-hmm. Like you guys were busy. I had all this house shit going on. Like,
How's the basement
I was
coming?
gonna say, was it the basement stuff?
it's all basement stuff. So basement's coming along. Like I just responded to a text from my contractor because he was supposed to come tomorrow, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, I got an appointment tomorrow," which means he's doing another job. Is it? I'll be there Tuesday through Friday. I'm like, yeah, no worries, whatever. I'm not gonna bitch and yell at the guy.
It's not like you're sleeping down there
No.
and you don't have a place to go.
right. So it's like I'm in a hurry to get it done, but I'm not going to like, nope, fuck you, be here.
Right.
I need this done. We should have been done last month, but things come up, whatever.
Did you have?
Flooring.
I was gonna say, was
Flooring
there a
was an
flooring
issue. I got all the flooring. So that's why I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, he was supposed to be there Friday. And I sent him a text because typically I wouldn't. I'd just be like, all right, he's not here. He's not coming. Whatever. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't showing up at like 11 o'clock because he's done that before too. Because for whatever reason, Bentley starts limping around about 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't know. Left paw in the air, and every time you pick him up, he whines and winces. So I'm like, fuck. So I start like, checking his legs to make sure, joints are intact. There's nothing's broken. I don't feel anything, but every time you would rub your thumb with his wrist on the inside, not across it, he would yelp. I'm like, all right, I don't think it's broken. I think it's just sprained, but I called the vet anyway. I'm like, hey, is there any chance I can bring him in today, have him checked out? They're like, well, we're super busy. Give me a second. So they come back outside. They come back on the phone. She's like, yep. She goes, head over now. We'll try to get you in between appointments. She goes, I can't guarantee that it's going to be, 5 minutes.
Right away.
I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. So I head over. Doctor comes in. He's like, starts checking him. He's like, he's not limping. He didn't whimper or whine when the doctor checked him out the first time.
Of course not.
The second time, though,
Okay.
he's like, oh, and I was like, okay, that's what he did to me. And he's like, all right. He goes, I think it's just a tissue sprain. No big deal. We'll get him some gabapentin and something else. Take him till they're done. Keep him, from running around. Yeah. It's like telling a 3-year-old, don't run through the house.
Right.
Yeah.
That he is through
Right.
back. So he's fine. Everything's good with him. He's like, keep telling Harley, like, stop running with the fucking dog. He wants to play. I'm like, leave him be. Don't pick him up. And so now it's just kind of, he grabs toys and just like rips them around the house and flings them across the room. So he's fine.
I'm not gonna finish this. I already feel it though, so it's a heavy hitter without you realizing that it's a heavy hitter, but it's too sweet for me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you finish that. It was good. You know me. I would rather do a
pornographically
dirty martini than a sweet drink. So
Party foul. Can you hand me those napkins?
We can do, maybe. Yes, I can. So Friday, I moved 66 boxes of flooring. Doesn't sound like a lot. Down to the basement.
No, that's
Gotta
a
appreciate
lot.
that CrossFit.
But they're like 60 pounds a piece. It is ridiculous.
Farmer's carry.
Nope. It was
Over the shoulder?
It was basically like a half over the shoulder, slung down.
Mm-hmm.
Took me 3 hours
Oof.
to move. Well, I kept stopping. ADD. I'd like go off and do this other thing. Like at one point, I think I stopped and put Lexi's license plate on her car, and then I stopped again. And
Dude, 60
checked
pounds up and
something else.
down stairs 66 times. Yeah, stop.
I
Take a
had-
break.
I think in just back and forth, I did somewhere around 8,000 steps.
Yeah.
Just up and down the steps,
Good
back
job.
and forth. So I didn't go work out on Friday.
Because you already worked out.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, So, but yeah, and then Saturday did the Festivus Games was at CrossFit Outer Belt.
Oh, fun.
So shot that. That was fun. And now I have to edit and go through 1,600 photos.
Ugh,
that's
gross.
a lot of photos.
I hate going through photos. Like I
Well-
hate the whole sorting process.
Right.
I
And
just
especially
delete 'em.
like when you're photographing like CrossFit type moves where
Yeah.
you got 20 shots of someone's
the same thing.
clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I try to for stuff like that. I try to limit because you can only photograph someone doing double unders
Right.
So many
Once.
times. Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
And you get unless they're but I'm always looking for facial expression.
Yeah.
So I'll shoot. I may shoot the same guy 20 times throughout that whole event, but I'm focused. Like, hey, here's an away shot, but it's always focused on. I want face. I want.
Right.
And they're close ups. Like I want expression.
I want to
falling
see your
down.
veins popping.
I want
Yeah.
like grunts and groans and
Tears rolling down
Tears,
faces.
yes. Like one guy was super verbal. Every time he'd win, he'd be like, "Yeah, baby, yeah, fuck you, woo!" And he'd just run through the gym. I'm like, "Oh, this must be his first competition."
I mean,
He's the only one acting like
I'm
this.
just saying I can add 15 pounds if I say the word fuck.
Yeah. Actually, that's
It's
scientific.
It is.
That's
It-
science.
It is science.
Grunts.
I've read the research study.
There's a stink bug. It's right a little light.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. It is
But-
that time of year where they all come back out.
The
That's our backyard is going to be real exciting this summer.
oh, I bet.
It's the cicada season.
Oh God.
And we
Oh,
and
and
it's
there's
like
two of them.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like the super cicada season,
Yeah.
and that's actually how we met Katie Shank.
No, it's not. No.
No, you knew her from the gym.
That's how you met Katie.
That's how I met Katie Shank.
Yeah, because she came because we were having the cicada apocalypse, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. Sorry, thank
Nope,
you.
you're good.
8 or 9 years ago. And she wanted to bring over her youngest. And so she brought a couple beers and her child. And we watched the cicadas come out. And we had chickens. And they would eat so
Oh, I
many
bet you-
cicadas.
They wanted to throw up.
They did. Like
they-
they would lumber back into their coop and like just
And birds
lay
can't throw
there.
up
I
either.
mean, it looked like Thanksgiving Day.
It's like frogois.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
For several days in a row. It
Those
was
eggs are real good, though.
I bet they were.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So many cicadas.
I was trying to get Liz to get another dog. And this
Right,
leads,
around the same time one went to the vet.
yes, this leads to
bad timing.
kind of leads to chicken talk. So I was trying to get her another, I was like, this was yesterday or Friday, because Bentley's mom had puppies. Like, we can literally get him a sibling.
Right.
And she's like, she goes, we're just taking one dog to the vet. She goes, and she wants $1,200 for a dog. I don't want to spend another $1,200 for a dog. And I'm like, but it's one of Bentley's siblings. Like, it's legitimately one of his siblings. And she's like, no. So then she sends me an Instagram story the other day. Or no, she tells me that my cousin, she's like, so your cousin, they just got a mini pony. A mini donkey. That's what it was. I'm like, and you want one? She goes, oh, they're so cute. I'm like, so you want a mini donkey? I said, I don't think we can have a mini donkey here. She goes, but they're really, really adorable. I'm like, do you know how much a mini donkey costs? I said, not as much as a dog. Or I said, more than a dog. And she goes, but they're so cute. I'm like, we should get a kangaroo. I said, and I looked it up. I'm like, laws in Ohio, we can own a wallaby.
Oh my gosh. I would like to own a baby goat.
I wouldn't get a goat.
Well, I know that they're
very
really
destructive.
stinky.
Yeah.
But they're so cute.
They
And
are
when they
very
jump and you can put them in onesies.
And you scare them and they stiffen up and fall down.
Those are
Yeah,
the
the
fainting
fainting
ones.
goats.
They're
Yeah.
so cute.
Well, the wallaby went to, she goes, no, we can't have wallaby. We're not getting a wallaby. And I'm like, but I think we can get away with having a wallaby here. I said, we have a fence. And like the wallaby's not going to jump over the fence. The wallabies are only stand 30 inches or 40 inches tall. And like they're only 30 inches long. So it's really not much bigger than Benny is. Benny would have a friend. And she's like, we're not getting a wallaby. I'm like, I couldn't have chickens either. I said, because chickens are blood. And she's like, well, we can't have chickens here anyway. I'm like,
Oh, you can't have chickens where you're at?
no.
Oh.
No chickens in the subdivision.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Chickens are easy.
I know.
Yeah.
I wanted chickens.
Roosters, no. Chickens, yes.
Yeah, I wanted chickens at the old house, but then we had coyote and fox issues. So
Ruby really likes our chickens.
I know. I've seen her
She has had them in her mouth before, and we've had to.
pry them away.
Yes. And
So-
she really likes going in the chicken coop because there's all kinds of tasty nuggets in there. It's disgusting.
Yuck. Oh God. But and then yeah, so there was that whole conversation and whatever, and
They'll be like, you can have it, but you got to clean up after it.
yeah.
I do love having 2 dogs, though.
I think 2 dogs is good. It gives the other dog like
You
company.
don't have to play with it.
Not all the
They
time.
can play with each
Yeah.
other.
And like Misha's really old. She's 13 or 14. And Ruby has definitely made her younger.
Oh yeah.
So,
Because now Misha has to either get out of the way or
yes.
play.
Yes.
Or like, look, bitch,
There's been a lot of that.
this is still my house.
Yeah.
You're here on my good graces.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so,
just to remind you, I'm going to hump you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's dominance. Well, that's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get another mini Aussie Doodle, and she's like, no. So I started looking. I just immediately pulled up the Fairfield County dog
Oh,
site.
because they're over crowded right now.
They have a dog named Milkbone. Milkbone. They have him listed as a pit bull. He looks structurally, facially, fur pattern identical to Diesel,
Oh.
and he's still young. And I'm like, they still have Milkbone. He looks like Diesel, and she's like, we're not getting another big dog. I'm like, so we can get a small dog. She's like, I fucking hate you.
I mean, valid.
Yeah, that sounds.
Liz,
that
I see
sounds
So I'm
familiar.
I'm working on it. Like we need another dog for Benny. Like he gets so excited when one of Lexi's friends brings her dog over.
Yeah.
And then they just go out in the backyard and run.
I will say I was hesitant to get 2 dogs. I bit the bullet because we had the opportunity to rescue a bulldog.
Yep.
And we got a second dog. And then when he died, because he was really sick,
He was old too when you
he
got
was
him
Yeah.
old
already.
and sick
Yeah.
and like just a hot mess. Loved that dog. Misha did not love that dog, but it was interesting. Like when he died, the difference from 2 dogs to 1 dog was stark, and we're like, we're getting another dog.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that actually happened with my neighbor. So before she moved, she had 2 dachshunds. And they would come over, and Diesel and the 3 of them would just run around. She moved, and Diesel was just like,
right, they do. They
he
get
was
bummed.
sad. He was
Yeah.
bummed out. He
Yeah.
was bummed out
It's like when your friend moves away.
Yeah. I mean, he was bummed out when we had cats and our cats passed away. Like, he was bummed out when the cats passed away.
Yeah.
And the one cat actually liked him. Like, they liked each other. The other cat didn't really like Diesel. But Cinder was our Russian blue.
Pretty.
He loved Diesel.
Yeah.
And they would lay together. And then when he passed, it was just like, he was
Yeah.
moped around the house. And
We already know when Misha goes because she is older, and we kind of, when your dog gets to be that age and you start bracing yourself, like every little thing, you're like, oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Or she starts acting weird. You're like, oh, is this the beginning? And she's held in there. But I do think that when Misha goes, it won't take too long before we get another.
Not at all.
I wouldn't wait. Like, Liz made me wait a year. And I'm glad I did because I love Bentley. He's great.
Right.
He just barks too much when people come in the house. Like, I come in the house and he starts barking. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dog.
You know who I am.
Like, I walk in the house. I'm like, hey, Benny. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I said your name. You know my voice. You should understand it's me. Because he comes out like, not tail wagging. He comes out in an attack position. He's not attacking anybody.
Right.
Like, you jump at him, his ass is gone.
I'm going to be over here.
He's like, oh, shit. He called my bluff. So he ain't attacking anybody. I think if he had to, he would. But I think if God forbid someone breaks into this house, someone broke into the house and they heard him, they just stomp at him and he'd be like, whoo, okay, I'll go lay in my crate. You guys, I'll close the door and lock it for you too. Right. Everything's in the basement.
Yeah.
Just head there.
Just fucking go down there.
It's fine.
Yeah,
So-
Ruby is a sweet girl, but she's got an intimidating bark.
She does.
She like, and it's funny because like if she's in her kennel and she wants to get up, it's
Little like
like
wimpy, whiny
yeah,
stuff.
but like if there's a bird in the yard,
Oh, bird, be gone.
Fucking bird.
yeah,
That was Diesel. Diesel never barked unless we were playing. Like, I mean, I couldn't tell you if he barked when someone actually broke into the house, but he never barked once for anything other than wanting to go outside or wanting to come back in or if we were playing.
Yeah.
Didn't bark at people who showed up at the house. Matter of fact, he hid. Like, we would get, not like hide like scared. He would stand on the other side of the door where people couldn't see him. So off to the side.
You can't see me. I can't see you.
It wasn't a scared thing, though. We would walk up to the front. So when we would get, like, Jehovah's that would come to the door, I'd walk to the front door, and he'd be right behind me. And then, so you walk to the front door, and you could go to the right was the bathroom, to the left was our dining room. He'd go to the left, turn around, and stand so that they couldn't see him standing behind the wall.
Okay.
And he'd just sit there, and I'd crack the door, and I'd talk to them, and they're like, "Oh,"
have
I'm
you
like,
found Jesus?
"Have
You
you
guys
found
lost
Jesus?"
him again?
I'm like, you guys need to find him. I said, here's the problem. I'm getting ready to let my dog out. I said, he's 120 pounds. So you've got, I don't know, probably 20 seconds for me to get from this door to the garage door and get it open before he gets out. And they're like, what? And I'm like, big dog. And I'd just close the door and I'd walk away and I'd go hit the garage door button and I would just let him out and boom, he'd sprint outside. He just wanted to love on them. He just wanted someone to pet him and he just wanted to lick them. But they don't know that because all they see is a 120-pound mutt running at their Mercedes minivan, like going after them all the way down the driveway. And they're like backing up feverishly. And I'm like, yeah, don't come back. So I used him for good.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah. Hope you find him
Yeah.
He wasn't here.
because he's not here. So, but I want another. My goal is to get another big dog. Like I loved having that big, stupid fucking mutt just laying around the house.
Yeah. Yep. Big dogs are fun.
Big dogs are great.
I'm empty.
So,
What are we doing?
yeah.
next?
So, what do you want to do next? So, I had talked about.
I figured the New York Sour will save
Okay.
for the next one because I feel like that would be a weird jump.
That is
right
a
away.
weird.
That would be a weird jump right away. Yeah. And
So,
I just happened to be. I think I've made one before.
okay.
I think I've made one before, and I just happened to be. I was drinking some Bookers. We did Bookers. I was drinking a different version. No. Yeah, I was drinking a different version than what we had on the show the last time you were on. And Liz had this cab she was drinking, and I'm like, it wasn't super dry, but it wasn't like a semi-sweet.
Okay.
It was weird. It was very, and it's not. It wasn't Liz's thing. Or like something that's very grapey isn't her thing.
Okay.
She likes tannins and she likes dry.
I
But
feel like Liz and I have the same wine profile.
Yeah, but it was really good. It wasn't crazy sweet, but she picked up this bottle, and I can't remember the name of it. I want to say it was like Porterman's or some shit like that. But it was a cab. It was dry, but it had this sweetness to it that most dry wines don't have. It was weird.
Like it was jammy.
Lightly jammy.
Okay.
Not heavy jammy,
Sure.
like lightly jammy. And I'm like, oh. So I like took a sip of that, and then I had my whiskey, and I didn't like palate cleanse. I just took a sip. I'm like, oh, that's really good. Handed it back to her. Took a sip. I was like, oh my God. It was like peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
I was like, holy shit. All right. So I went and poured more of my Bookers, and I like walked through the kitchen. I was like, splash,
Yeah.
swirl. It wasn't that good.
Okay, so it was
That
more
time
just
around.
the.
It was real good when I just took a sip of hers and then took a sip of.
I was about to say, because I'll open up some wine.
Oh no, you can open up wine. I was just saying, like when I mixed, like physically mixed the two and swished it around, it wasn't as good as when I took the sip
and the sip. Yeah.
and then like a minute or two later took the sip of bourbon.
We were just in DC and we were at an Italian restaurant, Greek and Italian, and I tried this wine that I'd never tried before, and I don't even remember what kind of wine it was because it wasn't on the list.
It was a Greek wine.
We would say it into the mic. I don't know if people.
It was a Greek wine.
Greek wine.
Volcanic ash.
Yeah, like grown at high altitude near a volcano, volcanic ash. And so we were describing some of the wines that we liked. That we like big, bold flavors, spark, rocks, and, like part of an old tire come out and we're into it.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, well, you can try this one. She's like, it's really minerally. And I'm like, cool, I like rocks.
Like salt or like.
So I also did not
Urethane.
know what that meant. And so she brings me the glass of wine and it looks super promising. Like thick, red, it's got legs, gorgeous. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be super exciting. And I try my first sip. And you came into my brain. The 3-sip rule, right?
3-sip rule.
3-sip rule. So I'm like, whoa, this first sip. When she said minerals, what she meant was it will be effervescent on your tongue and you will wonder if something is wrong with this. And so I take another sip and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know that this is going to work. Sip number 3, the mineraliness tamed down a little bit and I was able to drink it and I sent it over to Mike to try and he tried it and he'll give you his take on it. But
did they aerate it?
I have no idea. Like I just get it in the glass, right? I don't know what the alcohol content on that was, but like I drank it. It was great. After the first 3 sips, I moved to a different wine. I knew I couldn't do another glass of it, but dude, I got so sick that night. Like not like throwing up, but we were dancing later
Just,
on
like,
in a party
nauseated.
and I was like, whoa, there's a wave of nausea. I don't, if someone ever tells me again, this is heavy on the minerals, I'd be like, no thanks.
Well, that's a weird description though.
It
like
was.
minerals could be anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
I mean,
a really interesting taste. It was kind of like almost science experimenty.
It
like
was. Like I'd say it was like not Pepto. What was this? What are the things? The seltzer that you like?
Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer. It kind of reminded me of Alka-Seltzer on my mouth, where it was
Really?
kind of like those bubbles. But
so was it?
just-
Did it go bad?
It almost tasted that way, but
I
like
think
I've
it
had,
was meant to be that way.
Yeah, I think
It
that
had
was
like a light not like a carbonation, but like a fizzy.
effervescence.
Yeah, like a fizz.
But like you wouldn't, if you looked at the glass, you wouldn't see any kind of fizzing. It was
Yeah.
more like that's how it broke on your mouth. It was weird.
That is
so
weird.
I've never had anything like that again. I don't need to repeat the experience.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to repeat your experience.
Yeah. What are we drinking?
This is a Platinum Reserve Trader Joe's 2013
Ooh.
Meritage.
All right.
This is a 2013 vintage.
Oh, yeah, it's
Very, very grapey.
It is very grapey.
it is.
I can
Nope.
smell it. I haven't even tried it yet.
No, man. We're like 2 for 2 of things that I'm not super excited about. Sorry. I mean, I was due because I had.
It's not bad.
I like it. You know what? Oh, shit. I should have brought my Bookers. This is almost like, well, the Bookers is, what is the barrel proof?
60.
So it's, 120 would work.
Yeah.
Experiment time.
Okay.
We're going to experiment.
Okay. It's too jammy for me. It's too sweet.
Well, this may or may not change your mind. So this is very similar to what I had. Are we all equal there?
Close enough.
We're fine.
All right. So Larceny, this is Larceny Barrel Proof B521, which I've never had this one.
I thought we've had it. We may have had it on
Maybe
the show. I
we've
don't
had it
know.
on the show. Like,
But it's
The
60 point.
it's 60.5, so it's 121 proof. I'm not a huge Larceny fan. I don't know what it is about Larceny. They're hit or miss. Like every barrel proof in normal bottle is hit or miss. Like the C920s are supposed to be good, and that's basically like ABC is the time of the year. So like A's are beginning of the year, C's are end of the year. The 9/5, whatever, that's the month. And then I think the 21 is the day. I think.
Okay.
I could be completely off base, but I know it's not the year.
Okay.
Because C920 was just released, or C923. Maybe it is the year. I don't know. Was just released not too long ago. But it's going to be heavy. But it's a wheat, so it's sweeter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
A lot of ethanol.
yeah, you're going to hit I think that's what I don't like about the Larceny is it's very ethanol-y. Yes.
Yes, it is. And it is sweeter.
Yeah. It's a wheat.
The wheated bourbons tend to be sweeter.
See, I'm worried because that was sweet and this is sweet. We'll see what happens.
So take a drink. So take a drink of that first to cleanse your palate. Get some water. Rinse your mouth out. And then take just a small sip of the wine. You don't need like a gulp of it. Just enough to coat your mouth. Because this is what I ended up doing essentially the other night.
All right, now sip of the wine.
Little sip of the wine. Nothing crazy.
It is a very different hit. It's not as sweet.
Yeah. So then give it, I don't know, like another 20 seconds or so. Or now. And then try the whiskey.
That went down smoother. You also tasted the viscosity differently.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a completely
Science.
different thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's now the wine is not as sweet. Mm-hmm. The whiskey and this is what I experienced the other night. Like, this isn't like I'm making shit up on the fly. Like, the whiskey is not as ethanol-y.
Yes.
It doesn't have as much burn.
Yep.
It's almost like doing a primer
When you
before
start
drink something heavy.
when you start mixing those compounds, like it's like adding the
Yeah.
saline.
Yeah.
It or adding water to whiskey, it brings out different flavors. It's like letting your whiskey sit for 5 or 6 minutes before you try it.
Right.
You know, once the oxygen gets to it, it changes the flavor profile.
The other thing
Same
is,
with
I
the
bet
wine.
you if we aerated this, it'd have a completely different. I don't know where
Where's the
I think it's inside.
boo?
I can go get it. I know where the house is.
Oh.
It just feels like a long journey for a mediocre tasting wine. Sorry.
You need to get another one. Just keep it out here.
I mean, maybe
But maybe it's not a mediocre tasting wine once we.
me.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I enjoy this, but this needs to be.
It's a one glass.
It's a one glass. If this was a little bit more dry, like the sweetness can stay, but if it was a little bit more dry,
there
I'd
it
be
is.
on it.
That's is that the Bubs?
Yeah.
Bubs collagen.
Because Liz has been giving me shit because I've been aerating all my whiskey with my frother, which is a thing. We did it,
Yeah.
and it works quite nicely.
Ooh, yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit different. For sure, a little bit different.
Okay.
I feel like it's not as sweet.
Well, that's good. Sorry, I'm so.
You're so jaded.
I am. I'm also a little grumpy. I'm tired. I've been traveling a lot. So.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the trip.
Yeah, you guys just recently got back from DC, right?
That is definitely better after
Yeah.
aeration.
Yep.
I still.
And that is why you aerate wine.
But I'm sorry. This tastes like communion wine.
Yeah, I was about to say it is a little Manischewitz-y.
It is. Oh.
Uh-ohs.
Ruh-roh.
Rut-rows. How'd that happen? Did I
Gravity.
do that?
Yeah. So if you like communion wine, if you like Manischewitz,
L'chaim.
you might like this.
Passover starts tomorrow.
It does.
Well, when this airs, Passover starts today.
So might I recommend the
when this airs-
2013?
Yeah, no, it'll be the
It'll
second
be
day.
the second day.
Well,
So how was your guys' trip? So you guys did DC, right?
well,
we did
I had
New
to,
Orleans first.
New
yeah.
Orleans and then DC.
I had a business trip to New Orleans, and he tagged along.
Right.
Because we just had to buy the flight because the hotel was free.
Big brain thinking.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then we left New Orleans on a Wednesday. Horrible weather.
When they got all those
Oh,
tornadoes.
shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, we went through some stuff. I'm like, this car's going to stall out. Like,
We're
literally.
going to die.
Yeah, like, I literally several times checked the floorboards. I'm like, I can't believe there's not fucking water in the car right now.
And I'm like in the middle of a business call, so I just like happen to glance out the window. I'm like, there's a lot of water.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, holy fuck, we're going to have to like get out and walk through a fucking lake to get out of here.
Is that a cow?
Yeah, right. Damn
Cow.
near.
Another cow. Like, yeah. And then we got to the airport and there's so many people and we couldn't figure it out. They weren't letting anybody out. And then all these people keep showing up to
New
get on their
Orleans
flight.
stopped incoming flights at their airport of origination. Like if you were flying from Maryland, they were like, nope, you can't come.
Oh.
Well, and we found out later that a tornado hit just outside of New Orleans.
Yeah. Like wiped out, a bunch of trailer
Trailer
parks and warehouses.
Yeah.
See, if we got rid of trailer parks, we wouldn't have tornadoes.
Right.
Oh my goodness. That's science.
I mean, trailer parks always get hit by tornadoes, and tornadoes are always at trailer
And
parks.
tornadoes can't hit Ohio at noon on a Wednesday.
Right. It's always in the middle of the night.
So
At a
then
trailer park.
we went to DC and we're staying at a Sheraton right by the Pentagon. This is the first time I've seen the Pentagon.
I've been to that Sheraton.
Yeah, not
They
Not
are
the
doing
nicest.
they are doing construction right outside of there.
They were doing construction when I was there. The same construction.
And what happens when you do construction on an like unmanned field? It pushes every rodent, rat, mouse, everything to a different place, which happened to be
The Sheraton.
Yeah,
that
they had a bunch
Sheraton.
of like boxes that were rat
Like
traps.
Oh,
rat-
that was new then.
Yeah.
So one of one of the people who were on the PTech group with us,
I mean, okay, you're fine. It's fine. But I just
like
fine.
he goes
I
to his
totally
room
just
and
smacked
outside of his room is 6 rat traps. He's like, nope.
New.
yeah.
Whoa,
So
no.
then we ended up at the Canopy Hotel downtown DC, which was beautiful.
Canopy by
actually.
Hilton was fucking amazing.
It was beautiful. Reminded us a lot, actually, of the hotel we stayed at in Rome, which was awesomely nostalgic.
which was a Huxton.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Shout
cool.
out Huxton.
Oh,
So it was
nice.
a great trip, really fun. And then I was home for like 36 hours and had to go to Spokane for a work trip.
Washington.
Yeah,
Washington.
Washington.
As my
Washington.
mother-in-law would say. Washington.
yeah,
Washington.
and stayed at a nice hotel there. So
So the Sheraton at the Pentagon is where. So when I had to go pick up my bottle of whiskey in Virginia, that's where my brother-in-law just happened to be in D.C. working.
okay,
Is that when you got the
The barrel strength
old Raleigh?
A Smith Bowman.
A Smith.
So he just happened to be jumping back to Christmas. We're down in Florida, and I had won the lottery, the bottle lottery, to go purchase the bottle. I'm like, fuck, like Virginia's a 6-hour drive away. I don't want to drive there and drive back. Like I don't want to get a place to stay because I'm super cheap about shit. I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna go get it. My brother-in-law, who is a whiskey guy, is like, I'd fucking go get it. And I'm like, I understand you would go get it, but here's the thing. I'm hyper lazy. Like, I don't want to drive there and drive back.
That I've ever heard the term hyper lazy.
Hyper lazy.
But I am fucking here for
Yes.
it.
Well, with certain things, I just don't want to do them. Like, I just don't want to fucking
Like, this could
drive.
benefit me, but also no.
But also, I have to put it, that's too much effort to take that drive by myself. So I end up, he calls me. He's like, hey, I'm in DC. I'm going to be in DC this weekend. And I'm like, oh, this is the last weekend I get to go pick up that whiskey. And he goes, yeah, so I have a room with 2 beds. I'm like, you mean we're not snuggling? And he's like, we can, but I've got a room with 2 beds. He's like, so why don't you?
I call Big Spoon.
Yeah, he's like, so why don't you leave at like 5 o'clock in the morning, drive to Virginia to get your whiskey. He's like, by the time you get your whiskey and drive up to DC, I should be out of my meeting and I should be free. I'm like, all right, cool. So I drive. I'm like, I just tell Liz, it was like a last minute thing. I'm like, I'm taking your car. I'm going to DC. She's like, you're going to get that whiskey. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get the whiskey.
And
Better.
Better? Yeah, see, Larceny's I'm not a big Larceny fan.
Today's been kind of meh for me so far. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
you're fine.
Love
You're
you
right.
all.
Yeah, that happens.
It happens. Shit, I mean,
And, like,
shit happens.
it-
Some days you feel like drinking. Some days you force yourself to.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you, I was like having a stressful day, and I was like, oh, I would really love some bourbon right now. I'm like, well, I don't know that I've ever said that.
Well, see, that's when you know you're starting to like it.
Yeah,
and you
like,
become a bourbon
so
drinker.
what was it, like 3 weeks ago? We were like, oh, we're not recording this week. That's a bummer. And I was like, I got a place we can go.
I mean, just
She was like, I
and
really
and
like that
literally,
Middle West.
I do. I love
Everybody's
going
gonna know your name.
Yeah.
Just say, like, hey, Middle West, this non-bourbon drinker became a bourbon drinker because of you. Like, it's really good.
I can pass that message along.
Yeah.
Mike sent it up. We had our kiddo had an unexpected hospitalization, and I had to spend the weekend in Cleveland. And I was just like, can you send me up can you just put some Middle West in a bottle for me? And
Yeah. So I sent a flask.
He did. And thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It was an unexpectedly rough day, and
it
Middle
sounds
West.
like-
Went
I
up
love
for a
you.
doctor's appointment.
It was supposed to be a virtual appointment. We knew a couple days before that it needed to be switched to an in-person visit. The in-person visit turned into, oh shit, you need to be admitted and we need to do surgery. So it was like, swing and a miss.
But everything's fine now. Good.
Ish.
Ish.
She is physically stable. They
Okay.
have a plan, but she'll need another surgery in a couple months. So, yeah.
Yeah.
No bueno.
No
No.
bueno. So,
But looking on the brighter side of things, it looks like you're going to be buying more Middle West spirits.
right. I mean, the silver lining
There's a silver lining to this.
is that Middle West really did help me feel better in that
Yeah,
moment.
that's
So, thank you, Middle West.
Middle West is a comfort bourbon.
Yes, it is a comfort bourbon.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about me when I'm like, I really need Middle West bourbon tonight. Can you make
Yeah,
that
so
It
happen?
doesn't really say anything other than you enjoy their product.
Yeah.
I do. And like, I'm a heavy, like, I really, really love my cab salves. I like my cheeks to pucker. Like, I like a tanniny, like, super hardcore cab. I like dirty martinis. Like, they better be tinged green. And so the Middle West is a nice addition to the very select repertoire of things that I go to when I need.
I think,
Johnny's going to be very excited that you said repertoire.
yeah, he likes big words. So I think,
Shout out to Johnny because we
Johnny,
haven't yet.
Hey Johnny, he did give us shit for not saying hi to him on the last episode, which was recorded like 8 weeks ago. I think you like high proof whiskeys.
Yeah, probably.
Like 120s plus.
And Wheaties.
Yeah.
She likes weeded whiskey.
What is this one?
This is a 120 weeded.
Because this is a
But
little
Larceny
sweet for me.
Larceny's
Yeah,
weird.
Okay.
Larceny is hit or miss.
Like this is not what
That's
I would
it's
put in.
why
my-
I used it as a mixer
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
Like Larceny, if you get a good bottle, it's shit. You got a good bottle. But if you don't get a good bottle,
It's shit. I
it's
got a bad
shit,
bottle.
and you're like, fuck, this just became like
Yeah.
a whiskey and Coke.
Now you did have a couple of really nice old fashions on our meanderings.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
We were getting pictures.
Was good. Yeah, I sent pictures.
Did you? Good for you.
Yeah, it's my go-to anymore. It's just if they have a weird variation that looks promising of a
Sorry, I just nope.
yeah. This is going to be interesting. All right.
I'm getting him drunk, folks.
Oh, let me pull it up. It was a really excellent old-fashioned
The one
variation.
you sent, didn't you? I think
It was the second one, and that was okay.
I was gonna say, you said one was like burnt marshmallow or something. Was that? Or am I
Let me
I maybe misheard. Anyway, so ended up going and getting my whiskey.
Yeah,
Drove up to DC.
I love
Jose's
DC.
like, I'm at the Sheraton at the Pentagon. So drove around, missed my turn, had to U-turn it around, came back because DC's not confusing at all to drive.
Not
in.
at all.
Got there, and
Yeah, here it is right here. I sent a picture, and you were like, staying at the Sheraton by the Pentagon.
yeah. So ended up, him and I, we opened both bottles that I bought. My lottery bottle, which is
Yeah.
144 proof.
Ooh.
I'll bring it on the show.
Okay.
We'll do another show with it. It's one of those things that I don't mind sharing it with people, It just has to be the right people in the right time because it is never available.
Am I
again.
the right person?
You are.
Oh!
You are. It's not available anymore.
Okay.
And it's hard to get.
Oh,
Like,
that's tough when they're not available and you really like them.
It's a lottery only, and it's 6 hours away.
Yeah.
So I would totally drive there and back now.
Yeah.
Now that I've had it, like
Yeah.
it was going in blind. I would totally do it. But so him and I had a couple shots or sips. We didn't shoot it, and then we ran around all the monuments at 11 o'clock at night, like fucking school kids.
Oh,
Yes.
that's amazing.
It was-
the,
and there was
the
no one
monuments at
around.
night are fantastic.
Oh, it was
I love
so much
DC.
fun.
If someone forced me to choose a city that I must live in, I would choose DC. I really love DC. I've been
would-
to a lot of cities. I love DC.
So it was
probably go
called
overseas.
Not Just Your Old Fashioned, and I didn't get. It was supposed to be made with Basil Hayden, and I did not do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
I think
I haven't met anybody yet that likes Basil Hayden.
I know one.
There's-
Nope, not mentioning.
okay. Basil Hayden tastes like soap.
Ew.
So, actually, Basil Hayden to me tastes like cilantro.
I did Elijah Craig instead.
Good choice. Cilantro to me tastes like 1980s Dove soap that you would get put in your mouth for cussing.
yeah.
Or mouthing off.
Right?
So I'm that weirdo that cilantro tastes
Yeah.
like soap.
Oh,
to
I'm
me.
sad for you. Cilantro does not taste like soap for me.
I
But
still eat it.
So
it's fine.
it was called Not Just Your Old Fashioned. It was so I did Elijah Craig, Averna, which is an Italian bitter, praline liquor, and coffee bitters.
It was really.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was a great old fashioned.
It was.
It's almost like a coffee old fashioned.
yeah. It was,
But it
so
wasn't
good.
heavy on the coffee. Like the coffee was like, oh, it's there.
It's there.
It was just
but it
beautifully
was just
balanced.
really, really good.
Yeah, unlike a Starbucks latte.
Oh,
Which are
you're
disgusting.
treading on dangerous ground.
No, here's why I like Starbucks. Because it doesn't matter. I travel a lot.
Doesn't matter which one you go to, they're always the same.
They
Yes.
are, and like I love to check out local, small owned coffee shops. But I tell you what, I can't do dairy anymore. It's a thing. It pisses me off. And
like oat
when
water.
I was in Seattle, I went to a small spot, got my latte, emphasized it must be almond or oat milk. I don't care which one. And I got dairied, and it was. I'm at a work trip, man. Like I can't. Like bad things happen, but my pants don't fit because I'm just miserable.
Yeah,
And that has
she
never
was like,
happened.
"Uh-oh."
Yeah, that's never happened.
we
in
got a
Starbucks.
text.
Right.
She was
I would have immediately taken it back.
Well, I was
'Cause you can-
already back to the
Oh.
hotel, and it was a 20-minute walk, and
I would have
wasn't-
called.
What-
I would have
and-
Karen the shit out of that
And
place.
what is your clue that they may not have used?
Yeah. So I'm drinking my coffee and I'm like, wow, trust Seattle to figure out how to make a good foam out of almond milk because it had a really beautiful foam and you can't make a good foam out of almond milk. And I'm like, wow, Seattle, way to go. And I'm like, this is a really good, I should have just trusted my gut where I'm like, this is a great almond milk latte. Because there is a trade-off. There is.
15 minutes later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was not an almond milk
Oh,
latte.
it was not a
That
good
was
scene.
so you like the almond water, the nut water.
I will do almond or oat milk for my coffee drinks. I don't,
I can't call them milk.
right. I know. I get it. It is.
I get it. I
Yeah.
can't call them milk though.
Yeah.
They're not milk anymore.
Yeah. It's
They-
like almond
it's almond
drink.
beverage.
Almond
and
beverage.
Oat beverage.
Oat beverage.
Which is
Because
The milk and big
the,
milk.
the dairy, big milk, yes, exactly.
Big milk.
Big milk.
Big
threw a
Milk
fit.
has good lobbyists
Like, how
in
dare you?
Washington and was like, you can't call it
Lobbyists.
milk because it doesn't come from a cow or a goat or a
It's
so
not.
it's now
It's not. It doesn't come from a mammal.
yeah, it's
so-
so I had to explain to people at work why doesn't it say almond milk anymore? I'm looking specifically for almond milk. I was like, well, the dairy lobbyists got very upset, and so they lobbied the government, and now it's not allowed to be called almond milk anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause I think milk is a brand,
It's certainly a specific descriptor.
which would be like Xerox,
Or Kleenex.
Kleenex,
Yeah.
Q-tips.
Yeah.
They're all Xerox lost their patent because of that.
Oh.
Well, they didn't fight it, so you weren't doing a carbon copy
You
or a
doing,
facsimile.
You were doing.
Yeah.
You were
Xerox.
I'm going to Xerox this.
Right.
So when other companies came out with copy machines, we'll just get a Xerox of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So it became common verbiage. It's like Google it. Like, oh, I'll just Google that.
Yeah. Can you pour me something that I will like?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you want to do another show?
What are we
We're
at?
like, well, the recorder's been running for 53 minutes.
Oh yeah. I feel like we.
So I feel like we can sneak one more.
So we can
in.
do
no,
another
we
one.
roll it into another show.
I mean, we can keep recording and just roll another show.
Okay. You're the boss. I'm just here
I've done
drinking
that too.
like
We've done a part 2.
Mediocre drinks today, and I feel like I am owed something that I'm gonna like.
Oh, so like now I'm curious. Do we do a New York sour? Do we?
I mean, we've kind of.
No. Yeah, it's like we'll stick with bourbon.
I mean, we've done bourbon with wine.
I
and
feel
then-
like she'll like a Weller Antique.
yes, if you have one open,
I do.
then probably.
All right, let's
All right.
do that.
You know what? Let's stop here, and then we'll just fire up another show.
Sure.
All right. So next week we're gonna do Weller Antique. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For Mike and Melissa at the Mac Shack, I'm Martelle. We're out.
Fine. See ya.